Solving corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Let's have to remember the past or the review. So direction, answer the questions that's related to the congruency of the triangle and its positive. Start from color violet. So let's have the color violet. Okay, questions. Given the triangle ABC congruent to triangle DEF, which statement is true? A. Angle A congruent to angle E. B. Angle B congruent to angle F. C. Line segment BC congruent to line segment EF. D. Line segment AC congruent to line segment TE. So the answer is C. So that's line segment BC is congruent to line segment EF. Okay, let's have the next one. The color yellow. Which congruent statement is true for the triangle shown in the diagram? Okay, so let's take note. If we're going to name the triangles, be sure you know the congruent size or the angles. So let's have the letter A. Triangle JKL. So I'm going to highlight it. J, where's the J? JKL. Then congruent to triangle MPN. What you think? For letter B, triangle LJK congruent to triangle PMN. For letter C, triangle KJL, then congruent to triangle NPM. Letter D, triangle KLJ congruent to triangle NNP. So therefore, as you can see, we have the two tick mark, one tick mark, and the three tick marks here. And then inside the angles, we have the first tick mark and the second tick mark. And this is the right angle. Now, that is the symbols of congruency. So the second tick mark for the first triangle is here for angle P. And the first tick mark for the for angle L is here for the angle M. So as you can see, we need to uh, start from the congruency. So if this is triangle G or the angle G is congruency to angle M. So therefore, as you can see, as you observe, the letter A is only the correct answer. So the answer is letter A. Then let's go on to the color red. Which theorem or postulate can be used to show triangle ABC congruent to triangle FPE? So this is the figure. Now we're going to use the tick mark here. So as you can see, the tick mark here is from the line segment AB. And then this is the angle B is the congruency. And also the angle B here is same. Then this is the second tick mark is for the line segment BC. And for BE. Now, so what you think is a theorem or the postulate? So that is side angle size. So this letter D. Okay, take note. The methods for proving showing triangles to be congruent is the three. So there are usually used for the solving the congruency of the triangle. So you must know that the congruency parts of the sides and angles. How to solve the corresponding parts of congruent triangles. First step, you must know what is the congruent sides and angles of each of the triangle. So, for example, angle L is congruent to angle M. So, then line segment BC congruent to line segment AD. So, there's a need to be a congruent sides and angles. Next, review the property of inequality. It helps to solve the missing side of the triangle. So, what are the properties of inequality? For example, the addition property of inequality, the subtraction property of inequality, the multiplications property of inequality. So there's a lot, the substitutions and divisions. Always check the answer if it is same to the other side or angle to show if it's congruent. So if you're going to after the number 2, the number 3 is you have to check it out if your answer is correct by make sure that there is a congruent size is similar to the other sides. For example, the BC is 5. Then if you're going to get the value for x, then you must know that the congruent is also 5 for the other sides of the triangle. Okay, let's have the example. Triangle XYZ is congruent to triangle QRS. Find the length of the sides of triangle QRS. This is the figure. So as you notice, we have the 3b minus 2 here for the xz, and we have this 6c minus 2 of that. The question is find the length of the sides of the QRS, only the QRS. So if you're going to find the QRS sides here, that is also same with this one. Questions. Find the length of the sides of the triangle QRS. So the size of QR is 3c plus 4, is this one. Then RS is 2a plus 2. And QS is 2b plus 1. So this one. Okay, now we're going to find the C, A, and B. Then we have to substitute each value to get the length. So let's have the congruent size. The congruent size of line segment QR is congruent to the line segment XY. So we're going to find C. 3c plus 4 equals 6c minus 2. Where do you get the 6c minus 2 here? Alright, so this is the pattern. You must know the congruent size of each triangle. Then we're going to make sure that this congruent must be unequal to get the value for C. Okay, now the 3c we have here and the 6c. So 6c must be transferred to this one. So we're going to transpose, or when we say using an inequality, we need to use the subtraction property of inequality. So let's have. So 3c minus 6c, this becomes this is positive becomes negative. And then also positive here, when you transpose or when you use the property of inequality of subtraction, it becomes negative 4. Then since this one is different sign, so you have to subtract, and it becomes negative 3c. And this one is both negative, so same sign, you have to subtract, you have to add and copy that sign. So this one, negative 3c equals negative 6. Now let's divide both sides by negative 3. Or we can say this is division property of an equality. Or we can use the multiplications or multiplicative property of equality. So divide both sides by negative 3. I use the division property of an equality. Then cancel out the negative 3 to get the value for c only. And then this one, negative 6 divided by negative 3, according to the law of the integers, if this is the same sign, and then you're going to divide, so that is positive. So divide the number, then the sign is positive. So this c equals to 2. Now let's have another one. Line segment RS congruent to line segment YZ. We're going to find A. So 2A plus 2, where do you get the RS? The 2A plus 2 is here. This one. RS. Therefore, YZ, this one. 4A minus 2. Now, same procedure. This 4A, we need to transpose here. Or if you're going to use the property of an equality, that is subtraction property of equality, then it becomes like that. 2a minus 4a equals negative 2 minus 2. So minus 2 is from here. Then since we're going to transpose to the other side, it becomes negative 2. Or when using the property of inequality, that is subtractions property of equality because of negative or subtractions. Now let's have this one. 2a minus 4a. So not same sign. You have to subtract and copy the sign of the higher number. So it becomes negative 2a. From this one, so both sign, or we have both negative. So it means we're going to add and copy the sign. That is according to the additions of the property. Additions of the integers. Sorry. So negative 2a equals negative 4. Then we're going to use the division property of an equality. Then divide both sides by -2. So get the value for A. And then again, cancel out -2. And then A equals to 2. Okay, let's go on for the letter B. Line segment QS congruent to line segment XZ. Then we're going to find B. So this is a 2B plus 1 equals 3B minus 2. Same procedure, 2B minus 3B equals -2 minus 1. And then subtract this -B. Then for this pattern, this is add and copy the sign. Then divide both sides by -1. So it becomes B equals to 3. I just change only the signs. When you divide this one into -1, do not divide this one in B because we need to get the B. So therefore, we have to divide both sides by -1. Then this one, the technique here is just change the signs if you see this one. So just change the sign, opposite sign, so B equals to 3. Now let's go on to the next slide. Substitute each value to get the length of QR, RS, and QS, or the line segment QR, line segment RS, and line segment QS. Now let's have this one. So we have the value for C that is equal to 2. Then we have to substitute length. 3C plus 4, then 3 times 2 plus 4. 3 times 2 is 6, then plus 4, so it becomes 10. So that is the length of QR. For A, we have the value for A, that's 2. Then just substitute for this, 2A plus 2. Then substitute A to 2, and becomes 2 times 2 plus 2. 2 times 2 is 4, then plus 2 is 6. So therefore, this is the length of RS. B equals to 3. Then 2B plus 1. Then 2 times 3 plus 1, that is 6 plus 1, that is 7. So that's the length of QS. Now let's go on to the next slide. Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DFE. Find the angle F. So by this time, we're going to get the angles. So on the first slice, we get the length or the sides. Now this one, we're going to get the angle. This is the example. So you notice I have here the statement, the triangle ABC congruent to triangle DFE. So angle F is congruent to angle B. So we must know the congruent size or the congruent angle of each. So the angle F here is congruent to angle B. So if we're going to think about that the angle B is 99 degrees, then same, this angle F must be 99 degrees. So let's have this step by step. Find the angle F. 8y minus 5 equals to 99. Supposedly we have the degrees here and also here. So later on we're going to put the degree there. Then 8y equals to 99 plus 5. Then transpose -5 to the other sides. Then it becomes plus 5, opposite sign. Or we use the addition property of inequality. Then 8y equals to 104. Then divide both sides by 8. Or using the division property of inequality, then cancel out the 8, then y equals to 13. So that's the answer for y only, but the question is find the angle F. So we need to use the substitution method here. So y equals to 13, just substitute to 8y minus 5 degrees. Then 8 times 13 minus 5. 8 times 13 is 104. Minus 5, that is 99 degrees. So as you can see, we get the 99 degrees here. It is same with angle B because that's congruent for angle F. So it means that is correct. Okay, let's try this. Letter A, if triangle ABC congruent to triangle DF, name the corresponding sides or angles. Sample, angle B corresponds to angle E. But this one, we're going to write only the answer. Let's have this one. Angle F Number 2 is angle A. Number 3 is line segment AC. Number 4 is line segment EF. Number 5, line segment AB. Now let's go to the number 1 first. Angle F. So as you can see, this is the statement. We have to know which is the corresponding sides or the angle. So this is angle, so the corresponding angles of angle F is angle C. Alright. Then for angle A, the corresponding of angle A, so this is the first, that's angle D. Then line segment AC. So line segment AC, now therefore the corresponding sides of line segment AC is DF. Line segment B. The line segment EF, so this one line segment is line segment BC. Then for number 5, last one, AB. So line segment AB, the corresponding sides is line segment DE. Alright, so that's very easy. You just look to the statement of the congruent sides of the other triangles. So we can sure that the congruent sides is correct, or the angles. Let's go on. Let's have the letter B, triangle HON congruent to triangle YAM. Solve for X, solve for Y. So let's have this one. This is the figure. Now solve for X. This is the congruent. So if this is congruent, so therefore that is same angles. So let's have 2x plus 40 equals 180 degrees. Supposed to be that there is a degrees for this one. So we're going to write the degrees later. And then 2x equals 180 minus 40. Then 2x equals 180 minus 40. Then becomes 2x equals 140. Then divide both sides by 2. And x is 70 degrees. Now that is our solve for x. By this time we're going to solve for y. But as you can see, we cannot solve the y just because of this is same. This is congruent, so therefore we just write it out. 40 degrees. Then let's go on to the solve for z. So this is z. So I just put z there to find out what is the measurement or what is the angle of z. 70 plus 40 plus z equals 180. So by the way, we use 180 degrees for the angle because this is triangle. So the triangle must be 180 degrees inside this one, the measurement. Also this one. Now 70 plus 40 plus z equals 180. Where do you get the 70 plus 40? Because this is the angle H plus angle N plus angle O. So since we have the value for x and we have the value for y, just write the value, the 70 and 40. Then we have the z equals 180 minus 40 minus 70. These two values we're going to transpose to the other side, then change the sign. Then z equals to 180 minus 110. Then subtract. The answer is 70 degrees. Now, as you can see, we're going to check it out if the triangle is 180 degrees. Let's add 70 plus 70 is 140 plus 40, that is 180 degrees. So it means that is correct because we have the value when we add these three angles. We need to have the 180 degrees. For the last one, before we're going to end, so I would like to end this inspirational message. Success is no accident. It is hard work, perseverance, learning, studying, sacrifice, and most of all, love of what you are doing or learning to do.